Hello and welcome back to another episode of Gameball. I'm your host, Matson Montilla. And today, joining the show, we have a big-time athlete. He's the heart and soul of Westminster football. In high school, he was named to the All-State Pennsylvania team and made All-Catholic League first team due to his resounding success and the ability to play on any side of the ball, even had a few kick returns. He was named captain of Archbishop Wood the football team, causing him to switch from 13 to 3, like Odell. He was also ranked the top-rated tight end in all of Pennsylvania. He's a great athlete, a scholar, a son, a friend. Freshman tight end Markus Dixon. How you doing, Marcus?
Doing good, Matson. Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. So, what's your day been like? What's your week been like?
Pretty good. Good day. Got some routes on air earlier with the guys. Really just getting out there with Cade and the receivers, tight ends. Just trying to make sure we're all crisp and ready to go. Attack the spring.
Yeah, definitely. How's that going though? Like, how's summer, I guess, winter practice?
Yeah, winter workout
spring?
has been a grind.
Yeah.
Like, just got done with my first mat drill. Like, that's.
Oh, really? Like,
really,
first one ever?
First one ever.
I heard those things are brutal, man.
Brutal, man. I came in the summer, so that was just like one of my first ever like mat drills. And I was nervous going into it, but like guys were just telling me like, put your head down, go to work, and don't even think about it. So
yeah, you ever throw up or anything? I know it sounds kind of crazy to ask, but
I
hear a lot of stories,
question,
man.
Yeah.
I had a lot of stories about that.
That's a good question. I seen like a lot of people throwing up, so I was just like, I can't.
That's crazy. That must be kind of weird, like looking over your shoulder every time someone's yakking.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
yeah, I can imagine. They do it for a reason, though. I mean, it gets you whipped into shape pretty fast, I bet.
Yeah, just mentally getting you in shape. Like, we're going to be down in fourth quarter overtime, but like it's really about like who's finishing and like how we're going to attack the team. Yeah,
it's more of like a mental battle, right? In that moment, fourth quarter, mat drills, it's all the same.
Of course, Coach Sweeney always tells us like, we only lose to Clemson. Like, we don't lose to anybody else when there's a loss. We're just losing within the team. So, whether it's to our due diligence, like certain assignments, fitting a certain gap, whatever it is, we try not to lose to Clemson. So that's always the opponent week in and week out.
Yeah, definitely. And it felt like that was apparent in the locker room this past season. Like, you see every interview or you read anything, or watch the games. It's like Clemson, like, I mean, I don't want to be bad or anything, but it's like, Clemson lost the game. It wasn't like the other teams beat them, which, as bad as it sounds, that's almost the way you want it, where it's like nobody's better than you in a sense, right?
That's facts.
Yeah. So, bringing it back before we dive into more Clemson and everything, I mean, you're from Philadelphia, right? Philly. What was it like growing up there, being from there, and playing football there?
Football in Philly, I try to tell them, like, up north, like, you recruit a guy out of up north, like, you're getting a tough, a guy who's mentally tough, ready to just, like, run through a wall, like, when it's game day. Like, northern football is so underrated compared to the South. All respect to the South, but I think, northern football is different.
Really?
I just feel like we're tougher.
That's a crazy statement.
Playing all sorts and type of weather, and just relentless in it. Nothing phases us or stops us, especially with the weather. But growing up in Philly, like, I'm so glad that, like, I'm from Philly because, like, you see certain things and you see, how people live and, like, what's really real out there is the fact that, like, Philly is just not for everybody, honestly. Like, and like it'll mold you into like, the person that you like, that you want to be. But it was super tough, coming up. But, my mom always made a way and she always told us, just always keep God first. So like, that's what really helped. But, being from Philly, like I don't know, man. Like it's everything you need. Like we got everything you need, whether, fun things, sports, certain water park, like whatever. Like Philly is just all around like amazing. Yeah,
they got something to do, right?
Always.
I mean, like, is there anything that, like, if you're from Philly, you should know what that spot is? Like any, because I feel like because it was funny, before I did this interview, I reached out to a few people and they gave me terrible answers or questions to ask you, and but they're from Philly. I know a couple of kids, or I mean, some of them from like really, like, they're in Jersey, but they're like 20 minutes from the city, and they never gave me like a definitive answer. So like, what is like something only somebody from Philly would know?
I would definitely say like your local corner store for sure. Like they always had anything like I needed, whether it was like little 50-cent like cakes or whatever after school. Like they always came clutch. Like that's just something that's mandatory, like that you have to know in Philly. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
You know, we call it the Poppy store.
Okay.
That's
I
our
got
like
you.
convenient little corner store.
Yeah, it's like Sunoco down the street here. Like, I'll be going there all the time, every night. You got to get a little something going.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you said, though, something I really took away. Northern football, Philly, Northeast, it's all like, it's tough, right? Tougher than the South. And, I mean, two of my roommates, they both played football in the North. One's from Boston, one's from Jersey, and I'm sure they would be on your side. But, like, do you really, like, is that like a, do you actually believe that, like, when you say it?
I actually believe that. I think going up against guys like Trotter, Marv Harrison, Kyle McCord, Samir Higgins, Malik Cooper, like, those were elite guys, not only in football, but, like, in track. Like, their track team.
Oh, they ran track. That's crazy.
Yeah, Samir Higgins, Malik Cooper, Marv Harrison, they ran track. But those guys, you see where they're at now, especially Marv. Like, Marv about to be like the first receiver taken.
Marv's crazy. He should be the first pick. Sneaky first pick.
First pick for sure.
So I remember I was reading, like, your freshman year. Were you on the team varsity freshman year?
Mm-hmm.
So you played St. Joseph's Prep, their senior year, of course. So
Yep.
what was that team like, seeing those three dudes playing?
I think not even just my freshman year, my sophomore year was even crazier. Like the first, like literally the first play of the game, they get the ball, just a go ball. Right to Samir Higgins, touchdown. Like they were just fast and just, you know, more athletic. But those were some dudes. Like those were some dudes.
I bet, man. I bet.
Like, I'm
sure. This past year, Jeremiah probably talked to you about that Philly football, right?
Oh yeah. Like talking with him, like whatever, you know, like he needed like for me to do, because, you know, like taking reps on scout team, like whatever he needed me to critique with running a route, because, you know, that guy watches film. Like that guy watches, like he watches film, you know, you see it through like the plays that he makes.
I was trying to say, like, every play is a highlight play with him.
Exactly. Yeah, guys at the Prep, guys that were at LaSalle, Sam Brown, like that was like a 6'3" running back in the backfield that can move.
That is crazy.
And then Abdul Carter, like, you know, he's over there snapping at Penn State. So like,
yeah.
You know.
And I was looking at it, like Roman Catholic too. They're, you know, turning out guys.
Oh, yeah.
There's a kid, wide receiver going to Penn State.
Denmark.
That him.
That dude is
he was unreal. He was sneaky, man.
Like the way he's just so like able to get, like, it reminded me of Kadarius Toney. Like
really,
Florida
that's
Kadarius
crazy.
Toney, like that's what it reminds me of. Like,
I'm sure you had an eye on Florida though with Pitts going there, right?
Yeah,
Kyle.
KP, he's that's a big homie. Like, you know, like he texted me going into my junior year, pretty much just like telling me to, like, you know, keep my head up, like just go in there confident, because this is when, like, you know, I was officially like getting a starting job, you know, in high school. So like, you know, like especially from him, I think he was like the number 2 tight end, and like, you know, he was the number 1 like pick, the highest tight end ever picked.
Yeah. 4.
Yeah. So like just taking advice from him and him being my big homie, like I'm so thankful for, you know. So.
Yeah, so do you still stay in touch with them at all, like a little bit?
Yeah. You know, these guys' sons, so I congratulated him on that, you know, to him and his girl. But yeah, keep in touch with him, you know, because he had a pretty good year this year. Like, even like came back, got healthy, so he had a pretty good year.
He's a great tight end, and I'm excited to see what happens with like the new coaching there. Obviously, you know, who knows what's going on, but he's special. He's definitely special. Out of curiosity, he wore 84 at Florida. You were 84 here. Any correlation because of it?
Sort of, yeah. I seen that 84 open. I was like, yeah, it's only right.
Yeah, I mean, there's no single digits. You got to go for something.
Yeah, like,
something.
I don't know. It's just like that 84, especially with DA leaving it behind. Like that was a dog. Like that was a dog. But yeah, some correlation with Kyle Pitts for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, great player to like model your game after. I was reading, like, when you first got to Wood, the coaches were saying, like, oh, we see a little Kyle Pitts in you.
Right.
I mean, you're being, like, how old are you when you're a freshman? 14, we'll
14,
say?
15.
Hearing that comparison?
I get there, I'm like, I want to play receiver. They're like, no, like, you're a tight end. Like, you are a tight end. Kyle came in there. He transferred from Abington, and he was a quarterback, and they seen his frame. It was like, nah, you're a tight end. So, like, you know, I'm glad. I love tight end. You know, I get to be physical, actually, you know, get people off of me, create separation. And then really be in the trenches with it, blocking. So, you know, it's a great position. I love it.
You get to do. You have to do everything.
Oh yeah, you got to be the most knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. Like our coach Richardson, he always makes sure that we're the most physical and most knowledgeable on the field. So
Yeah. So it is interesting though, because you have to be able to do everything, as you mentioned. And you love blocking.
Mm-hmm.
Was that something you liked doing when you first started? Because I can't imagine. I mean,
it gets rough. Like that reset, even this year, like I can that first practice, like blocking guys like Justin Maskell, XT, like it's
crazy.
It's literally like not fair.
Yeah.
But like it made me better, and I got better throughout the year. But yeah, that reset, like that first start with everything, like it's literally like I gotta go against this guy every day. Like it's bad. And then the high school, it was just kind of weird, kind of transitioning again, like just trying to be more physical up front, like just making sure I'm dominating whoever's in front of me. So it took time.
Yeah,
it took some time.
When you first got to high school, like how were you the height you are now, or did
I
you
was
hit a
I was
spurt?
about the same height. I was about 6'3" ish.
Okay.
215, skinny and thin. Like not skinny, but like just like my frame like wasn't what it was like going into my junior or senior year. And the weight training over there at Wood was intense. Like
really,
we were grinding. Like,
did it?
Grinding.
Was there like? I'm assuming the transition though from Wood to Clemson was still like a crazy transition in the programs.
Oh yeah, especially weight room. Like the weight room here, like you have no choice but to be like ripped, like ready to go game day. Like they prepare you for that, and the strength and conditioning, aspect of that. Like, all those guys in there, like they make sure like they do a great job of making sure that like we're ready for practice, making sure like like hey, like if something is sore or anything, like we can substitute that. So like they do a great job in there.
Yeah, definitely. So when did you hit that growth spurt? Because that must have been, or was it? It was a spurt, right? It wasn't incremental.
Yeah, I'd say around like junior year ish.
Okay.
And then like I started to get like wider. So
that's when you hit like 2 more inches and then kind of filled out.
Oh yeah, and that's the part I was really waiting on, just to fill out, get bigger. So like that's what I was.
So are you 6'4" or 6'5"? Because I'd be reading crazy things.
6'4.5".
Okay.
Put shoes on, I'm gonna say
6'5". Yeah. Round it up to 6'6". Yeah, something sneaky, right? No, I got you.
Yeah.
So when you first got there, the freshman year at Wood, like I'm assuming you didn't have like a big. Did you have a big role in the team, or were you kind of working your way up the depth chart?
When I first got there, played freshman ball. So that was fun. Like I'm so grateful for like the freshman football team. We were able to like get the bond and chemistry that like you look for in teams. So that was the amazing part about it. And then sophomore year, got a shot at being second string. Came in on certain plays. It was a good deal. But yeah, I think my role like jumped instantly as soon as like sophomore year was over. Like off season training, like they were like you're the leader. Like you have to like get guys going. Like and I took upon that role, and I never looked back.
What was that like though? Because you went from, I mean, like you said, you were sophomore year, you were in and out in certain plays, and now you're like the guy. Was that crazy? Like, is that weird?
It was nervousness like almost kind of every game, and I had to learn like it's okay to be nervous. Like that's what it's okay to have butterflies going before the game. Like because if you don't, like I don't know if like you really love the game or not. Like,
yeah, I mean that's
should be really like ready to go. Yeah. Like all right, got this.
If you don't have nerves, you're dead. Like you need to be nervous, right? Because that's not human to not be.
Exactly. Like because I really when you love the game, like you just thinking about all types of aspects like of it. Like I wonder like like I can get in, I can really do this. Like it was thoughts like that in the back of my head going into my first game. So, and then senior year, like I really like the leadership really had to take another jump. Everybody thought Wood had like a down year, and which honestly we did. But like I said, I'm grateful for that because I got to really like be around younger guys, and like now I'm the older guy around, on the campus. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I mean, entering that junior year, there was a lot of just weird things going on too, because Wood merged with another high school, right?
Yep, Bishop McDevitt. Those guys came over there. Those were my guys. Yep.
Yeah, what was that like? Because that was 16, 20 new kids pulling up.
Yeah, I'd say it made the school more cultured. Like, having like kids that like I literally like live near, come around like an hour out, bus ride out to Warminster. Like it was fun. Like being with those guys, connecting with those guys, and like show up on game day and we're ready. And like like the bond, like half of those guys played with each other since they were younger. I played with certain guys on E9. Shout out to Coach Swift. So like just really like bonding with those guys, like it was amazing. Like having Bishop McDevitt come in.
So you're from, Warminster is where the prep school is at, right?
Yeah, Warminster. Yep.
And you're from where? Like heart of Philly?
I'm from the heart of Philly.
Okay, damn. So you were making like treks out there.
Yeah. I in Nicetown, we have like Alany, little transportation right there. Hop on that bus, that 22 bus, 5:30 in the morning just to get there at 7:15. Yeah, it was a trip.
Yeah. I mean, what led to you wanting to go to the prep school in the first place?
So I was all like for a change of scenery, right? Like when you ask about the heart of North Philly, like I'm like dead in the heart of North Philly.
Right there.
So like I just think that like me wanting a new change of scenery, I was looking at LaSalle, Archbishop Wood, just even boarding schools. Like I just didn't want to be in the same area. I just wanted to better myself and be able to network. And I think I definitely, that definitely paid off for me. So the prep was actually connected to my middle school, Jesu. So I was just like, this is a good opportunity. Like great football school, great, academic school, first of all. But I need to be somewhere else, and Wood was just always in the back of my head, So it came down to LaSalle and Wood. LaSalle gave me the full ride. Wood was just like, hey, like chipping some money here and there. I was like, Mom, like I love this school. I'm like, I love this school. This is the one. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, this is the one. Like, and I've never looked back. Like I never said like I wish I went here. Like I'm glad like I went to Wood.
Yeah. I mean, how much credit? I mean, I'm assuming you give a lot, but like to your mom for that, because
oh yeah, she was always just like just tried to be there and made me look into the future, not just the now. Like yeah, like you're gonna play sports, yada yada yada, but what about these academics? Let's make sure like you're somewhere. And all the schools that like we looked into were great on the academic side, but she just wanted to make sure that like always encouraging me like, hey, like we're gonna look into this, we're gonna like visit the school, like just make sure we get a feel for it. And me going to Wood, like she liked it, I loved it, so we made it work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that same process is going through your mind through like college recruitment too, right? Mm-hmm. Academics, athletics, everything as a whole.
With college, like, as the offers started to come along, and then that Oregon one hit, that was my dream school.
That was little jerseys, right?
That was my dream school.
D'Anthony Thomas.
I'm like, let's take a visit out there. Yeah. We visited. Really nice school, really, nice campus. Clemson, I was talking with my coach now, and talking with them, like I was just like, this is Clemson, like this is a dynasty over here, No shade anywhere else, but like Clemson is like the school, like where a bunch of dudes come out of. So decided to take my first and only official visit to Clemson, and I took that with them, and all the guys that like I went down there with, like we're literally so close, like our class is so close, like. And when we win the Natty, like this class, because this class will win a Natty, like we're gonna look back and be like, man, like we were speaking into existence. Like we literally have deep talks about like us just up there, up there on that podium, just raising up that trophy. And so. And
was that like, were those conversations during recruitment or after you guys were all at class, or just ongoing now?
I'd say like throughout the like entire phase, like. I'd say after that weekend of the official visit, like literally, like we were already talking about like who we're gonna be rooming with. Like we were so close, like, and we're still so close. Like, man, I really love these dudes that I'm around in this class. So like, I can't wait.
So like, I like it because there's so many times where guys come into a certain college and there's animosity, or they're like, obviously you have to compete for a spot, but they're not really like a brotherhood, as weird as that sounds.
Right, we're so close. Like, I really love these dudes, man. Like, I talk to them every day, see them every day. Got no choice but to. But we're all just very generous, and just young, humble men that just want to get better.
Yeah, definitely. So, who do you room with now?
I was with David Ojebwe.
Okay.
And he ended up
he got Pitt, right?
Yeah, but I will be moving into the Pier with Tyler Brown, Peyton Strecko, and then one of Tyler's close friends.
Okay. All right, that's a good house right there.
Solid household.
Feels like a spot. Yeah. So when you first got your first offer from Syracuse, right? And that was entering your sophomore year?
That was entering.
That's crazy.
That was entering my sophomore year.
That's crazy. That's not normal, right?
With freshman tape, my measurables, and they're
that's crazy. They're on it.
I was like, no way. It struck me in a moment. I remember I was on the couch with my sister, and my head coach at the time, Matt Walt, calls and goes, Syracuse on the other line. They're waiting for you. Give them a call back. So they end up calling, and I legit took a deep breath in and out. I was right there with my sister. He was like, Marcus, I want to extend a scholarship offer to you. And then in the moment, I'm legit I'm shaking on the phone. I'm like, yo, no way. Get off the phone with him and literally started celebrating with my sister. Just hugged it out with my sister. It was an amazing moment.
That's crazy. Was that the most surreal offer you received just because it was the first?
I'd say that was the most surreal. Definitely either that or my Oregon one because I just grew up an Oregon fan.
Yeah.
And then it just became literally real in the moment. And then I was just no way, Oregon is calling me.
Yeah.
And then even when I was out there, everything was so surreal. Seeing the facility, seeing the gear, I'm yo, this is a true blessing. And I had nobody to thank but God and my mom,
So the next summer after your sophomore year, that's when the offers really rolled in, right?
Oh, yeah.
May through September, they were coming in
crazy.
They
were coming in quickly and surely. I think I still have connections with those coaches to this day. They were Rutgers, they were a family oriented type of program. So that's what made me really interested at the time. But those people over there, polite, made sure I was okay, made sure my family was okay, and just always checked in. So that was just the little things I was checking off the checklist when it came to recruitment.
So being from Philly, is Rutgers the school you? Because Philly football, or colleges, they're not known for Villanova. That's D3, I believe.
Yeah, and Temple was really good. My brother was committed, and then he ended up going playing linebacker at Temple. But Temple was a really good program, with guys with PJ Walker.
PJ Walker.
Yeah,
forgot about that guy.
Yeah, he was.
He's sneaky.
Dude.
He's sneaky.
He was a dude. Hassan Reddick,
he's the man. He brought came back to Philly.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Philly. So and you're right. College football in Philadelphia, took a toll. But Rutgers, that was the closest thing. That was actually
it's 90 minutes, right?
About I say honestly an hour.
Okay.
I'd say an hour. We'll go on that road.
When you're Philly driving.
Yeah, when you're Philly driving.
yeah. I get that.
You're Philly driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I visit Rutgers, I believe, 10, 11 times.
Mm-hmm. Damn, 10, 11 times, bro.
10 or 11 times.
It's not normal. And you didn't go there. That's crazy.
I camped, I did camp 2 or 3 times. One day I randomly was there, visiting. Yeah. They're go get some cleats on. I was I thought I was on a visit just chilling. They were nah, we want to see you at DN. So I was all right, and I think they wanted me to be an athlete over there, which would have been very fun. I played DN for a while, my first 2 years of high school.
You played all over in high school.
Yeah, I played all
Safety?
over. Safety.
That was crazy. Watching some of that tape, bro. That was. I'd be terrified. You're 6'4", 220, and you're freaking safety Julio Jones out here. That's crazy, man.
It's fun, man. But college. So.
Yeah, probably not. Not. I'll be honest, probably not.
Yeah,
looking like Gronk out there,
right?
The last second play.
Oh man, yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah. So, what was it like playing all those positions? Do you think that ultimately helped you, just be a better football player?
I'm just I get a lot of feedback on me being so athletic, from basketball standpoint, football standpoint. That I naturally just had to ever since I was younger. I naturally just had to be an athlete. Just flip sides, let's do it. It was never an issue for me. It's still not to this day. If Coach Sweeney says I'm going to throw you on the DN list, I will be playing DN, you know? So, like, it just goes to say that, like, it was a fun, especially in high school, like, it was fun playing safety, like, being back there and, like, just communicating and using my athleticism. So, it was a good time.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you played quarterback one game?
You played quarterback?
What the heck was that about, man?
We were down, like, our starting quarterback, he was a sophomore, and he wound up having a concussion protocol. So, you know, we had somebody else step in for a few reps. I would take, you know, whatever, like, he was tired, go in, step in. Whatever I didn't see open, I just took off.
You just took off?
I just took off.
You just on the ball in your hands.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like, I just took off. I was just like, bet. And started running. Yeah.
Did you, like, lose the game, win the game?
We wound up losing that game.
It was
short-lived
career.
Yeah, it was to Roman that game. Yep.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I mean, if you're playing Roman, no offense,
Roman was a team. Yeah, they had a few Bishop McDevitt kids over there. So.
Oh, really? So the school like split like all over?
Yeah.
Okay. Was Bishop public or private?
It was a private school.
Private school.
Really a Catholic school.
Okay.
But you know, it was a little outside of like a little outside. Like it's still considered Philly a little bit, but it was literally like just a little outside, tad bit outside of Philadelphia. So like,
what was Catholic League football like?
Like when I tell you like week in and week out, like you're going against dudes, like you got to be on top of it. Like especially when like we started rolling into like the last like month, like where we have to face Roman, then the prep, and LaSalle. Like that's where it really gets intense. But week in and week out, it's always competition. You know, like the Catholic League is really good, especially when it comes to like sports in general. Like Catholic League,
basketball is crazy in the Catholic League.
I'm trying to tell you that Palestra. There's no other feeling like the Palestra. Like played in it, watched it. Like there's no feeling like it.
And what is that? The Palestra?
The Palestra is where University of Penn plays.
Oh, really?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. So like the Final Four plays there, then the championship, and then you know cut that net down. It's fun. Unfortunately, I had to cut those nets down my sophomore year when it was COVID going on. So like we still had to like wear the mask and like you know like.
Oh, so you were able to play all the way through though?
Nah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, so that you won the.
They had it at Cardinal O'Hara High School though, so it wasn't that.
Oh, it wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same.
Yeah, and then you went back junior year, right? But then
went back junior year, fell off. Actually, no, we lost to Archbishop Carroll at home junior year to go to the playoffs, and then my senior year we went and we lost in the Final Four. It was tough.
Yeah, it is tough, man. Especially with the like. That league, though, in general, like there were some hoopers, right? Like some top guys, especially on your team. Were you weren't like one of the best out there, I'm assuming, right?
Nah, you got guys like, first of all, my freshman year team, that's the most like well-rounded, athletic, good ball handling, good shooters like team I've ever been a part of and probably will ever like see high school wise. Like not counting like boarding schools like Montverde or like things like that. Like these dudes, like they play with each other since they were younger.
Yeah.
You know, with team final and stuff. But like these were some dudes like Deshaun Shepard, like that vertical at least like 40 something inches, like off the ground. Like that dude can fly till this day, doing this thing over at LaSalle. Rasul Diggins, like arguably like one of, if not like in my opinion, like the best like player to come out the PCL. Like
really,
that's
great. That's a big take right there.
That was a dude. Like it's a hot take. It's a hot take, but it's worth arguing because like I've seen games where like you know like he might have like flipped the switch instantly and then boom like then when he plays defense and locks in then like you get a different Rasul out of you. And like that was a guy. You had Jalen Stinson running the point. Well-rounded shooter. We had Marcus Randolph, who was a wing, who could really shoot the ball, lefty, and then Munir Newton, who was athletic, like just a really athletic freak till this day, doing his thing at Albany. So like, it was a great team. Like I've been a part of. We were out in Hawaii, like
really.
We were my freshman year.
Torn?
My freshman year, we went to Honolulu.
That's crazy. Well, you were living the life out freshman year.
Yeah, the Iolani Classic, I believe.
Okay, you win that?
Nah.
No.
Like playing with Wasatch Academy was different.
Yeah.
Like team out of Utah, but
is that like a big prep school for basketball?
Yeah,
there?
it's a boarding school out there.
Okay.
Yeah. So Nah, that was a fun time, and then like like it was cool just being out in Hawaii. Like a kid from literally North Philadelphia, being out in Hawaii, like just really made me want to just go farther with everything I had going on in my life.
Yeah, and then you played with Jaleel Bethea, right?
Yep.
And talk to me about him as a player.
That's my dog. So like Jaleel like grew up as just like the shooter. Like, hey, don't leave him open. Like, but I've seen him gradually take his game, like better ball handling and then athleticism through the roof. Like through the roof. Like that kid, like I know like for a fact that like he's gonna be drafted high for sure. Like the following year. Like we'll be talking about this again next year. Like where you think Jaleel's gonna land. Like he's such a kid that just like he just always wanted to just be around a basketball. Like and like kids like that, like like you can't take the greatness out of them or the love of the game. Like he truly loves the game. And like Jaleel a dog. Like Jaleel's a dog. Like what? Like people run up to me, like show me a TikTok clip of him, like spin move dunk. I'm like, yeah, like he's legit. Like he's that for real.
Yeah,
so like
he's got highlights.
Yeah,
he has highlights on days.
For days.
Yeah, and he's going to Miami, right?
Yep.
So he'll be playing next year in college.
At the U.
Yeah. So you're gonna catch a game for him?
I'm gonna catch a
when
game.
When he comes and plays?
Oh yeah, always. Like tap in with him. Hopefully, it probably will be down there in Miami. But I'll try my best just to see.
You gotta travel. You gotta see some sights.
See my
right?
guy. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, we have Philly players here. Jack Clark, right, from Philly, and you mentioned you kind of connected with him when you first got here.
Yeah. He knew close teammate, close friend, Deshaun Shepard, and I noticed that he transferred in from NC State. And I was just like, so who's this cat that's like from Philly? And then like I checked out his highlights. OD, like sneaky.
Yeah, sneaky. He is sneaky. I'm telling you, he's gonna be good.
Yeah,
I think he's still got more room this year.
I hate the fact that he came around late. Like I really think that like
it's because of those injuries, man.
Those injuries,
that was brutal.
Like, I know, brutal. But it's good to see him out there though. Like, and then like it's nice catching up with Jack. So like that's my guy.
So are like Philly kids like are they all just connected? Like if you see somebody from Philly,
oh yeah,
you just know you'll find a way to know him.
That's just that Philly like chemistry. Like it's just in us. Like like you see somebody that you know or played against or grew up playing with. Like it's just an instant connection automatically. And I just so happen to know Jack through Deshaun Shepard. So like just only imagine if like like I grew up playing with him. Like the networking there is just like
yeah, that is crazy. Was basketball or football your first love?
Ooh, I'm gonna definitely have to say football. I was 5 years old playing center. So like I'm gonna have to
that's crazy.
That's crazy. I'm gonna definitely have to say football for sure.
So like how'd you get into football? Was it just your mom signed you up for like a rec league? Or
we had a league around the corner at first. Didn't really like the area, so our church had football. I was just like, okay, like why not? Like not knowing that like this church literally has had dudes come through, Mark Webb, DeAndre Swift, and then I happened to be coached by Coach Swift for about 3 years, I believe, 3-4 years. And he would always take us to the sauna, sweat off like any water weight we had, like before weigh in. Like he really looked out and like he actually cared, for his guys. Great coach. Really, and he was a father figure in my life. Like he has, my most respect because he did things that like other people didn't do, or like when my mom like couldn't, then like he would be there. So like Coach Swift was
definitely. And how old were you during this? Like,
I was about 9-10 years old playing when I first started playing for Coach Swift, and then I stopped playing around like 13 years old.
And that's such like silly sounds. It's such a crucial time, right? I mean, first off, like as a kid, but also just being like trying to play that sport, because if you get the wrong coach or the wrong person in there, it ruins the game for you. And you're 19, and you're mentioning people are coming up to you asking for advice. And what's that like having to be a leader at 9? I mean, younger than that, obviously being a captain junior year, but now like people are really probably reaching out to you. What's that like?
I fully like, I love it because not only like is it like cool, but like it's nice to like see somebody who like I've sat down, had a close conversation with one-on-one, and they go out the next day and have a great day at practice. Like that's just the best feeling to me. Like I get so excited. Like my best friend Olsen Pat Henry, like who's a great athlete, we talk every single day. Like, I don't think there's one day that go past where we don't have a one-on-one serious conversation about, life or just football. And we try to better each other because we both, like, grew up with the same standards, same type of parenthood. Like, so, like, I got his back, he got my back. And, like, just being around him and, being able to, like, talk and, like, hear different things, like, it really inspires me, honestly. So when you talk about, like, like, leadership or, like, how does it feel, like, I just naturally just, like, gravitated towards it because, like, it was never a problem for me, ever since I was younger, whether, like, a kid, like, felt down about himself or, like, he just wanted to talk about, like, how he missed the ice cream truck. Like, honestly, like, anything, like, I'm just a person that, like, you can talk to about anything, because, like, number one, like, I just fully think that people, like, you need people there for you, like, just to, like, have certain talks. So, like, I'm all for that.
Yeah,
I'm all
definitely.
for that.
And that's a good quality to have because, I mean, they're obviously coming to you for a reason, right? And I guess the way you deliver that message, it can really impact them because you never know, like, when you're going to see them necessarily again.
Exactly.
So that is a big deal. And one more thing I want to talk about with recruitment. I guess it's a weird circle we're going in now, but drawing it to recruitment again. You had a top 10 list, and that came out before Clemson even offered. So, talk to me about that, and then how I guess Clemson came around.
Around that time, I remember like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I was on a 7-on-7 tournament, and I like got back to the hotel, and I'm like, yo, like, let me kind of like narrow down to these schools so they know, like, hey, like, this is the direction I'm heading in. And like, from my supporters and from, like, my brother and my mom, like, she's like, hey, like, but let's not fully, like, shut off other schools. Like, let's visit, like, let's talk and let's hear them out. Like, and I'm glad, that we actually did that because, like, I'm here at the best option, like, my home. But with that being said, like, I used to, people used to, like, question me about that a lot. But at the time, I wanted to narrow it down just to, like, let schools know, like, hey, I'm locked in, I'm focused on, like, you. And, I'm thinking about, like, getting in, making sure I reserve a scholarship. But whole time, I need to be thinking about, like, what place is going to be my home, So I never, and that's another piece of advice, like, I don't want nobody to rush recruitment. Like, if it feels good, by all means, like, if your family is all in with it, then by all means commit, let that be, your upcoming home. But I just want people to, like, take their time with recruitment so they can honestly see other schools, honestly just get a feel, for the campus life or whatever it is. So
you said you made that top 10 to tell the schools, like, yeah, I'm interested in you, and then others probably like, hey, not as much, whatever. Yeah. Why can't you just call them and say, hey, like, I think Rutgers was on there. Rutgers, you're one of my top schools. Like, why do you have to make the list?
So I was like, how you said Rutgers, like, we had those talks where I'm just like, yeah, like, you guys are, like, really, like, top on my board. Like, you guys are, like, really, like really doing it. But that list, like, I guess, like, sending that tweet out and then posting it on Instagram, it kind of just, like, really made me, like, get a visual for, like, how not only people but, reporters, schools would approach me. But you're right, like, certain conversations like that did happen, So yeah, like, there was nothing wrong with, like, calling or like just like.
Well, I was just curious. Yeah. I was just curious. I didn't know if it was like one of those things where you might call the school and say you're really interested, but then they're probably thinking, well, they're probably calling every other school, so maybe it's good to see that visual in public. I don't know. I mean, you probably don't know either necessarily, but yeah, I don't know. That was always something that stuck out to me.
Yeah.
So then Clemson came around really late, like really late. But that's how they are, right? They're always sneaky with that. Talk to me about that, because I'm assuming did they contact you before your official visit and offer, right?
So they contacted me before the official visit and the offer. They were like, we're not offering you until you get down here. And I was like, okay, bet. Like, I'll take this official. And mind you, this is when, like, you have 5, not like as many as you want to go on. The rule now, like, I'm pretty sure I would have been, like, just taking flights any and everywhere if, like, I was still in high school right now. But I was like, I have no problem checking out Clemson because, like I was saying earlier, this is a dynasty school. So, like, getting a feel for Clemson was no issue. But, yeah, they came around, I would say, early May, and I was talking with my tight ends coach now, Coach Richardson. He was just pretty much like, hey, man, like, when we going to get you down here? Like, when we going to actually get you down here? I was like, whenever. And he was just like, man, like, we're going to host this summer OV. It's going to be a cookout. It's going to be really nice. And he's like, you got to come down with Mom Dukes. I was like, all right, bet I can do that, man. So we made that happen, and I never looked back. Like, I never, like, ever questioned it. Like, I went back to my hotel room. I'm like, man, I'm all in. Like, I'm all in.
Yeah,
but
the
like,
cookout, get you.
Yeah. I generally, like, got back home. It was like, all right, let me not rush it because me, like, I wanted to commit on the spot in Coach Sweeney's house. Like, let's do it. But I know, like, I wanted to take a week off of everything, clear my mind. It was like, let me take a week to myself and really, like, envision myself home. So it was like a Wednesday night, and, like, you know, you got to call, you know, talk to the coaches, like, before you're committing. Call Coach Sweeney. He's on the field, and then, like, he's like, what's new? What's happening? He's excited. I was like, man, I just want to tell you the big news that I'm all in. So made that call. He was excited. Like, that man, like, he is honestly, like, a great man. Like, one of the best men that I've ever been around in my life. Probably the best. Because he just simply wants the best for everyone. Like, not you, not certain people, for everyone. Like, from staff, like the nutritionist, like everyone. So yeah, and then when I got down here, like, clicked up with the guys, and, like, they had us doing certain activities, bonding. So it was really fun. Like, they didn't make it, like, bland or boring. Like, it was actually fun. I really enjoyed this summer OV I was on.
Yeah, so that was the one before you recruited, right? Or sorry, committed. Did that visit, like, you said it was fun? Was there a certain quality that stood out to you about like I can't even talk. Was there a certain quality that stood out to you about that than, like, other visits?
I would definitely, number one, the hospitality. Like, Clemson by far, and down south, like, the hospitality is different, like, for the better. Like, and that was just my biggest thing. I'm like, wow, like, everybody's so polite, everybody's so nice. Like, my God, like, I would do anything just to get this up north.
Yeah. I was gonna say it must be a lot different, right? Philly, like, Philly's crazy.
Yeah. But honestly, like, the hospitality did it for not only me but my family. I was here with my brother, my sister, and my mom. So, like, you know.
How important was it to you that you went to a program that your family liked?
That was the key thing that I wanted to look for. Like, no matter how far or how close the school was, I wanted to make sure my family, you know, was not only comfortable, but, like, they were glad and, like, happy that, like, I'm going somewhere where, like, you know, I can get, you know, everything achieved on the academic side and, you know, athletic, you know. So, like, it was pretty cool to see. It was a nice experience.
So your brother, you said he played football or plays at Temple, right? Mm-hmm. Having him, he went through the recruitment process himself.
Right.
Having, like, a sense of, I guess, having that already been going through, did that help you in your recruitment process?
And he was so helpful to the point where it was just like, okay, AJ, like, come on, do I really got to, like, make this call? Like, and he was like, yeah, man, because, like, you want to be transparent and you want them to be transparent with you. So he was just, like, honestly, like, he had the biggest role when it came to, like, hey, like, how do I feel about this? How do we feel about this? You know, how do you feel about this? Like, he just had the biggest role because he'd been there, done that, you know. So, like, and he knows the ins and outs of college football. So, like, it was, and then to have my older brother be there doing it for me, like, it was amazing having him.
That's awesome. And is your sister younger than you?
Younger, just a year younger, yeah.
You're younger? Okay, so she's looking at the colleges, I guess, right now too.
She was, when they actually came down for the North Carolina game, they visited Clark University down in Atlanta.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so
that'd be cool. Just a 2-hour, you know.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be good for you, right? Yeah. I mean, being so far away from home, like, was that a big adjustment? Is it still an adjustment?
Oh, it's not an adjustment now because, like, I'm just so, like good and comfortable here.
You're locked in. Right?
Locked
you
in,
got a routine
exactly.
going,
Mhm.
right?
And like when I first got down here, like, you know, you gotta make that like college, you know, transition like that. But literally like it took like a week probably, and I was just like, all right, bet, like feels good to be down here, like, you know, like I can truly see myself here, you know, forever.
Yeah,
So.
I know what you mean. It's different for everybody, but like my thing is like once you're at college, wherever you are, and you just take a week or something, it's really just not that hard to. 'Cause, you know, it's college, you know. It's,
Right,
it's
like,
fun. It's you're busy. It's just a good time.
Yeah, had classes in the summer, summer workouts, so like just making sure I was busy.
Yeah.
So.
What was it like adapting to college in general, and I guess you could say on the football field, but just in general?
In general, like I think sometimes like we rush the, you know, football side trying to get on the field, but you got to remember you're a college student. Like you're never going to get freshman year back anything. So like it was pretty cool. Like just making the whole transition, adapting, and you know just actually like being around, you know, my homies and like experiencing it with them. You know, it's like we're all young here. You know, just getting to college, like so. We were all checking in, making sure each other were good. So like, you know, it was a nice transition. It was a really nice transition.
Yeah.
Like the college life, like when I first got here, like in the summer, like it was good. It was doing it for me. Like it was really good.
Yeah, that must have been like a weird time because Clemson's so like dead during the summer. I mean, nobody's here, right? Let's be honest, nobody's here. So
it was a little weird. And then like when fall came around, I was like, yo, like there's mad people.
Yeah,
on campus.
right. I know that people just come out the hole. It's like hibernation or something.
I was like, there's mad people on campus, but it was a good transition.
It's good. I mean, Clemson's like, it's sneaky big, you know. Like everyone's like, oh, it's Clemson, it's 25,000. You know, it's a lot of people in a sense.
Yeah,
it's a dope place. Before talking more about Clemson, we'll talk about another big school. I guess in general too. Pennsylvania schools, Penn State. I feel like they have a good grasp on the state as a whole, and saw they offered you, and then obviously Pittsburgh offered you, but I don't think either one made your top 10. Right?
My junior year, like I was fully obsessed with Penn State, sort of.
As everybody is, right?
Yeah,
I feel like I was going through it. It's like,
like
Penn State, Penn State, Penn
Happy
State.
Valley, like it's different, and then those game days are different. I've been to a night game. I've been to a day game.
Did you go to a whiteout?
I missed the white. I had a game.
You didn't go to a whiteout. That's
legit
crazy.
I had a game against Malvern Prep, and I don't know what it was, but I don't think we were going to be able to make the whiteout. So like, I was like, that's crucial.
tough.
It was so crucial. But like the one against Indiana that year, like it felt like a whiteout, and then like the energy was through the roof. Like I still have those videos in my phone. You know, like me with Coach Franklin, like, you know, like good people up there.
Yeah,
very
definitely.
good people up there.
And it just wasn't the spot for you in a sense.
Like traditionally, like they have great tight ends. I just think like I want to go somewhere where like, you know, maybe not a lot of people in the room, and you know, like Coach Howell, he was a good coach. But yeah, it just like the place itself, just, you know, it just wasn't for me, which is okay. Like that happens.
Yeah.
Like not every place is for everybody, clearly, you know. So like, you know.
Yeah, you want to find a place you want to stay for you know, X amount of years,
Exactly.
3, 4, how many years it is. Were there certain schools then that like you thought, I mean, maybe even Oregon will be one of them, but you thought was like the spot, right? Like you were like, this is it, and then it just wasn't the right area for you?
Yeah, so like we could, you know, touch on that topic with Oregon. Like, you know, with that being my dream school, super excited, like eager just to be out there, and it didn't like feel like I was missing something. I didn't know what that feeling was, honestly, until I came to Clemson, took that visit. I was like, this is what I'm looking for. Like, you know, like that official visit, like we talk about that to this day. Like it made us so close and tight, you know, and then once we got our group chat going, oh yeah, locked in.
Yeah,
locked
nonstop.
Nonstop,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, you want that out of your recruitment class, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Or I guess you come in with. Now you're at Clemson. Season's getting going. The anticipation for that first game, first couple of weeks. What was that build up like?
Honestly, like it's just been nothing but motivation to not only me but the team. We're so like, you know, like we're fueled and ready to go. Like these past winter workouts, like we've been motivated because it's going to be on the big stage. You're down in Mercedes-Benz, you know. away game, but it doesn't matter to Clemson. Like it's just another
It's an away,
another
it's a
away
neutral
game. Yeah,
it's a
but
neutral game.
Another game where we're facing Clemson. You know, like we don't say that we lose to teams. We just say like we lose to Clemson, like I was saying earlier. But the excitement is there. Like the anticipation is like really like we cannot like wait to get down there.
Yeah, I was talking to Kylan the other day, and he was telling me like he's from Bama, obviously, and he was saying like it's one of those games where you dream about, right? Like two powerhouses playing each other, and now you're going to be a part of it. I mean, that's got to be just a crazy feeling, right?
Yeah, nah, it's facts though. You know, like you look at Georgia the past, I'm gonna say 4 or 5 years, like really dominant program, and we think that we can match, if not do better. So it's no problem with us playing, you know, UGA down there on the big lights.
Yeah, and I'm sure you watched the first game they played against each other a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
right?
That was intense. Like low scoring game, but intense. Like, and it was dudes on both sides of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I know it was talent on talent. It was crazy.
Game, you know?
Yeah, it was.
They just got away. They just got away.
Defense. It was all defense.
It was,
the whole game.
That defensive game. That was a real defensive.
Only
game.
touchdown was pick 6, which
low-key reminds me of the Super Bowl this year. Super Bowl this year was just really that was a defensive Super Bowl.
It was good. It was a good Super Bowl.
Game.
It was
Great
awesome.
Game, though.
Yeah.
Great game.
Any guys from Philly I'm trying to think from those teams. I know there's a couple Clemson kids.
His name. Yeah, a couple Clemson guys. But you got number 4 from Kansas City Chiefs. He's from Philly.
Rashi?
Yeah.
No way. Rashi Rice from Philly.
Yeah.
Really?
He's from Philly.
Is he like prep, public? What was he?
I think he was a public school. I seen it. Like I read about it. I was like, like I never even like knew about that. So like, it's always like cool to see like new and different people that like are from Philly that are like, you know, pro or just doing something that's really major and just contributing to the world. Like it's cool to just have Philly on the map.
Yeah,
that's just the best thing. Best feeling.
And then hoops, they take over basketball.
Oh yeah,
like easily. I know we touched on it like for a second, but playing in those games, like in high school, we'll say, were those like intense? I know like you're blowing out opponents left, right, and center, but were those crazy games?
Like my first 2 years, like with varsity basketball, I was nervous, but then after that, like it was fun. Like I couldn't wait to get on that bus to have a away game. Like it was just fun. Like, you know, like playing against Archbishop Ryan, Father Judge, like, you know, certain schools like that. You know, like it's intense. Yeah. It's very intense.
Could you dunk? You can dunk, right?
Yeah.
Dumb question.
We need to have like a dunk contest recorded just so like we can show like other teams like the athleticism that we have.
From
on our team, our football team. Like I think if we get in that facility and show off, then like it's gonna be
for Clemson.
Yeah, we should probably do it after spring for sure.
Really? So dunk contest.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's definitely better than whatever happened in the All-Star weekend. We saw that. That was terrible.
That was terrible.
That was horrible, man.
Like,
that was embarrassing to watch.
I was sitting there. I'm like, Jaylen Brown. Not only did you dunk on over Kai Cenat, who's already like 5'4",
he was sitting down.
He was sitting down. So like really like what are we doing?
That was bad.
It would have been different if like he changed up the dunk, jumping over him, but like it wasn't.
Nah, the best part was his second dunk. He dunked with his like left hand.
Yeah,
which is so. I was like, everyone makes fun of him because he has no left hand. Like, bro, I'm like, you're 6'8", bro. Like, exactly. I hope you can palm a basketball. Like, I'm really just not that impressed.
Talk about the dunk contest though. Mac McClung, like even though the dunk contest period wasn't, you know, how it was, like let's just say 2016.
Yeah.
Like Mac McClung, like I was looking at it, I'm like, yo, like the things he's doing at like what is it, 5'11", 6 foot, 6'1"?
Yeah.
It just wasn't making sense. It wasn't making sense. He's super athletic.
He did like a 360, 540, like behind the back. Like that was crazy.
Freaky.
Yeah.
Freaky athletic.
I thought Jacob Toppin was like.
That one was kind of like they kind of forced that one. Like if you were gonna have a Toppin in there, you should have had Obi for sure.
Yeah.
Obi definitely should have been in dunk contest.
Yeah, I mean there's I did see some more star talent. Yeah. You know, like I'd love to see LeBron in there.
Oh yeah.
Selfishly, I think that'd be dope.
I don't know why. Like I don't know why LeBron has not tapped into a dunk contest.
It is weird how like it lost its shine, right? Yeah. Like you see MJ doing it, you saw all the guys until like 2015. It was just like you can call it Gordon Levine, whatever, but they're not LeBron. Right. You know, they're not Dwight Howard or something like that.
That dunk contest was crazy. That was, in my opinion, that was like probably the best dunk contest of all time.
The Gordon Levine one?
Mm-hmm,
yeah, that was crazy.
Sure. It's crazy.
I thought Levine won it, and he did. But like I thought he won it.
Levine won for sure.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why. Like it was such a close call though. Like
Yeah.
if you look at it now, like I seen it on my TikTok for you page the other day.
Yeah.
Looking back, like it's hard making like like who you gonna crown as dunk contest champion that day.
Yeah, but I mean, he did what? He did like underneath the legs on the free throw line.
He did, yeah.
Which is like freaky.
It's freaky.
That's weird.
Let alone like East Bay like run and jump like that. That was that was crazy.
He's sneaky, man. Like he should. I'm glad he won it. I don't care what other people say.
Right.
Talking about the weight room though, I'm curious. So, what can you bench and what can you bench?
Max, I'd probably say 330.
Okay.
Squat, I've only maxed out at 530. I didn't try anything else.
You only did 530?
Yeah, I could probably do more.
Sneaky.
Yeah, a little sneaky. A little sneaky.
How much could you bench and squat coming into Clemson?
I barely I could bench 225, but like I wasn't repping 225 like how I am now. Like the way I'm able to move the weight now and like actually like fluctuate with it and be patient, like it's a big difference. Like I was lifting, but like lifting in college, let alone at Clemson, a major jump.
What do you think allowed you to make that jump? Was it form, eating habits, the routine? What was it?
Definitely all three, and heavy on routine. Like I feel like you got to be consistent. You can't just come into the weight room and not have the same intensity and the same intentions as you did the day before. So like, and then like eating habits, like just making sure you're not doing too much but not too less, and just heavy on consistency for sure. Like heavy on that.
Yeah. So how often do you lift when you're there?
So in season, we'll do one, I believe, every 3. So we'll lift 3 and then relax the body and then kind of just like go about our week, like game planning and game prepping.
So you lift 3 out of the 7 days during like a week, and then winter, spring, like how often are you lifting?
Oh, we're lifting every day.
Every day.
You're gonna lift every day.
1 through 7?
We'll have like Wednesday off, like as a stretch day. They'll count as a stretch day. But like literally, you feel like you're in there like 7 days out of the week. Like you're in there, you just have your head down, you're working like. But it's good though, getting in there with the guys, like motivating them, cheering them on, like. We all just have one drive, one purpose. So like, it's good. It's good to see.
Yeah. Another question I have now about recruitment. So it was a run heavy offense at Wood, right? You were blocking a lot, and then I saw you participate in some 7-on-7s. Do you think being able to do those 7-on-7s helped you, like get noticed for more than just a blocker?
For sure. I think doing the 7-on-7s really like showed that like I can, really, kind of change up my routes or the concept of how I'm going to do it. And it was just fun, like being out there and just like, just critiquing.
Yeah. So that helped you a little bit.
Yeah. Philly Finest, like being coached by Tobias Darden, like it was actually fun because he had the guys. He had Swift, he had Kyle, he had Mark Webb, like he's had all the legit guys from Philly.
Yeah.
So like being able to be on his team, like it was actually like fun, and then being with those guys, like it was fun, week in and week out, like it was fun.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing I want to talk about with Clemson, grasping that playbook. Was that hard?
I want to say like with Coach Riley's, the way he came in here and changed the system, like it's actually so manageable. Like from what I've heard before, like with Coach Riley stepping in, like big difference, and it will be a bigger difference this year. Like we'll tweak some things, change some things, but of course a college playbook overall, like stressful. Don't get me wrong, but the way he was able to break it down and just make it more simple, like just doing that, and it was good.
Yeah, definitely.
It was good to get a grasp for it, and just asking Jake Brennan-Stool, like, hey, like, how can I like kind of get more open or get out of my break like quicker than this, and then like, and he had answers for me, and he's like he's legit like, you know, my big brother on the team. So.
Yeah, I know. Bringing him up, like, what is it like having him when you first come in and even now?
So Jake reached out when I committed, like, man, like, let's work, like y'all boys ready, like, let's work. And like I just looked at that as like love, you know, like instant love. Like a guy who hasn't even sat down, had a conversation with me yet, face to face, is reaching out, and you know he's ready to work, ready to better the people coming in. Like that's honestly love. And we were talking about this the other day. Like I think like strongly, and Coach Sweeney does too. Like we strongly think like we have the best tight end room in the country. Mm-hmm. Like you look at it, we got everything: athleticism, speed, really good blocking technique. Like this tight end room is very special. It's going to be special this year. You guys, you'll see it this year.
Oh, I'm ready for it, man. Yeah. I mean, you're right. It has all the combinations too, and it's very interchangeable. And you could put like Jake out there one series, and you can go in, or Olsen, mm-hmm. and it's like. It's no
hiccups.
Stop to it.
It's no hiccups with anything. Like we're all just on the same like accord when it comes to that like intensity coming in and like like let's go, you know. So
and I think the good thing about it too is like you might come in as a better blocking tight end, for example. Now you can receive, or somebody comes in as receiving, now they can block. But all three of you can do both of it like equally well. So if you do bring one of you guys in, it's not going to be like. He's a blocking tight end, they're going to run necessarily, right? Mm-hmm. Like he can't catch, he's not a factor, which I think just adds a new element to the team.
Right.
Yeah. But what do you like? Do you like blocking? Do you enjoy that?
I love it. Like, especially like my junior year, like I started watching like a lot of George Kittle highlights because like, in my opinion, like he's one of the best like of all time just doing both, like having that dynamic. Him and Gronk, like, really did it, like, and he's still doing a fabulous job. Like George Kittle is doing a great job of just like taking over the game with like his blocking and his catching, like, you know. So.
And he brings the intensity, which is like, you need that. You really do. I was reading you previously. I remember in high school you were like comparing yourself to Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I used to. Yeah, like even now, like I just love like how Kelce, like he's not one of the best route runners you'll see. He's not the quickest, but he'll get open, and like he makes a way out of no way, and that's like the biggest thing, like, you know. And I just think like his mentality of like, yo, like nobody's gonna stop me is like that's the biggest thing that I want to take away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What is Coach Sweeney like as a coach, as a person, as a whole?
Yeah, I think Coach Sweeney, like, you know, all around, like his mentality does not change. Like he loves you. He's gonna love on you, you know, hard. So like he cares. He wants you to get better, you know, whether it's on the field or off the field. But like, you know, hats off to that man. Like he's one of the greatest men that like I've ever been around, honestly.
And I'm sure that goes into the people he hires and the coaches he bring in.
Yeah.
You always talk. I mean, this whole interview you've talked very highly about Coach Richardson and everything I've seen like during recruitment. You talk very highly of him. How important is it to have such a good connection with a position coach too?
Coach Rich, like he always makes sure. Like the other day we were in segments and like, you know, we're just taking notes and he's just like, just jot this down. Like Coach Rich loves you. Like Coach Rich loves you. And I think like we need to, you know, sometimes take a step back and like be like, okay, like it's literally all out of love. Like I'm being coached up, critiqued out of love, and like, you know, the fact that like he wants me to be better. You know, Coach Rich, he wants that. You know, he always checks in. He sends me like little. He calls himself DJ Chaos. So like, you know, he swear he's good. You know, at DJing. But you know, him, his family are amazing. You know, shout out to Mrs. Richardson, Miss Amanda. She's a great. You know, she's a great support system.
I heard you said he plays Lil Wayne. Is that his go-to? Yeah. Or does he switch it up a little bit?
He loves his Lil Wayne. Like, he loves his classics. You know, he swear he hip, you know, now. Yeah. So, like, you know, he'll get in the segments, you know, play his little tunes, and we'll hear it. Sometimes we'll be like, what's this, Coach Rich? I'm like, nah, you don't know about that.
Are there any, like, Philly rappers you try to listen to? Any, like, sneaky people?
I listen to...
Or singers?
Like, I'll have like my OT7 Kwani on, like, and like
I
put the team on. Yeah, I be trying to put the team on. They already like they swear they know some Kwani, but I was like, nah, you don't got the Kwani.
My roommate, he loves Kwani, man.
Really?
He's been on him for like years.
I'm trying to tell you, he's definitely the newest like upcoming and fast.
He's not
fast
dropping
rising.
anything though.
I know,
That's
that's Philly for you. That's really Philly rappers.
Yeah, yeah.
You got that unreleased, bro? Nah, I don't got it. Gatekeeping the unreleased. But yeah, like I'm gonna say Kwani. I just listened to Core album yesterday. Like talk about like speaking on rapping about what you're going through in life. Like you can really hear how he misses his grandmother. Certain things like that. Like just taking little things away from listening to that album. So I try to listen to Kwani, Core, Leaf Ward. You got other rappers down the line, so like
yeah, definitely.
It's a good lineup though.
Yeah,
really good
lineup. I'm sure. So I got a few more questions for you. Yeah. One of them is kind of like goofy, but obviously in football you have to look good, to play good, and all that. But out of the tight end group, like who do you think has the best like style?
On the field or off the field?
We'll go off the field. I feel like that's more important.
Off the field for sure, Josh Shepp. Like
really,
like the best. Like I honestly think like he got the best drip on the team. Mm-hmm. It's between him and Kobe McLeod for sure.
Okay, and then on the field.
On the field, I'm gonna have to say Jake. Like it's kind of cool how like sometimes like people will think like he got on like different socks, but like it's just really arm sleeve, just like cuffed up, and then like
really?
Yeah, like that game against Georgia Tech, that all purple, like he had like the purple arm sleeve and just cuffed it, and then like had the white socks. It was cool. It was cool.
You learning a little bit?
Learning a little bit. I need some advice. Like I don't really got like crazy. Like there's really not crazy drip in college. Like you can't really do too much, or you can do something for sure. So like I'm kind of slowly but surely fading over to
I got you.
The drip.
I mean, the only thing I really care about is shoes. I don't know.
That's how I feel.
I just like being cozy and have some shoes. I don't really care about anything
That's
else.
That's how it be.
Yeah. Looking at next season, do you have any personal goals for yourself?
I just want to make sure that like, as long as I look back and can say, I'm doing this better, I'm mentally here, and I'm going to mentally get there, then I feel like I've done my job. So my biggest goal is to just better myself, just keep getting better, working out, just consistently going in and making a daily deposit of just like, hey, I'm dedicated and, I'm going to work towards, what I want. So that's just one of my personal goals.
Yeah, definitely. And, out of curiosity, being at Clemson for, I guess, close to a year now.
Yeah.
How do you think you've grown just in general as a person?
I think I'm at the point now where it's like I am like I'm good in college. Like I'm well like adapted. Like I'm fine. I'm doing fine. But it's just like I'm at the point where like I understand like first of all how the system goes within college, and then like just the whole football aspect of things. So like. And how to mentally approach, my days, which is just like, come on, let's get it.
Yeah.
So like,
I'm sure that was a tough thing to start at first, right? Like mentally getting ready for the gauntlet of like every day, right? I'm surprised we were able to work this out, man. Like, I feel like free time's hard to come by.
Yeah, it is. Like, especially like with those mad drills, like that was, I'm getting like PTSD.
Are you done with those for the off season?
Yeah, we're done. Just 5 total.
Congrats, man! Congrats. That's a big accomplishment.
Just 5 total. It was tough though, especially like, wearing that purple jersey. Like it was fun. Mm-hmm. It was fun wearing that purple jersey, man. Like, just being the guy starting every drill, and then like just having people complimenting you, like, hey, like you look like you're moving quicker, like you look good out there. Mm-hmm. Like it's honestly like. It feels good to hear those things.
Yeah, it means you're making progress too, exactly. Which is like
that's the biggest.
That's the end goal.
That's the biggest thing that I want.
Yeah. So this one's more about your family and your mom and your siblings. Like, how important has your family been to you throughout just everything?
It's my world. Like, it's honestly like my everything. We text each other every single morning. Good morning. Like everybody just, no matter when you wake up or like how your day going, you just make sure you tap in with the family. Because we're all spread out, right? And my sister's about to be the last one to leave the house. So, like, we just make sure our mom is okay, and then we check in on each other, and then we have our little group FaceTimes probably twice a week, and it's funny. And we just all catch up, what's new. So, like, talk about the fam. Like, that's literally my everything. Like, I will go above and beyond and the ends of the earth for my family.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. Is your family able to make it down to games for Clemson?
Oh yeah, and they loved them. Like the North Carolina game, they were like,
oh, that was a good one.
They were like, this like my mom legit was like, this is lit. You know, it was like,
and the best part was it faded into nighttime, so you could see like the whole the real fourth quarter, which is something we've been missing.
It's something about that fourth quarter video that just like they play it during mat drills and like,
oh no shot.
Yeah, so like it's something about that fourth quarter video from this year that just gets me going. Like. Makes me want to just run through a brick wall.
Yeah, I know. Tell me, I know. I'm in the stands. I'm like, yo, coach, I'm ready.
It's so and shout out to like the people who worked on that, because like that was like those edits and like all of that, like media group is crazy.
It's unreal. It's unreal. And then the sections, the students. I mean, the whole stadium.
Yeah,
it rocks. It goes crazy.
The craziest game when it comes to like the stadium rocking. FSU by far. If you were like to cut on your TV and turn it up, not even like too loud, then like it was like it had to be more than 85,000. There's no way. Like every single seat, like nosebleeds, front row, like taken. Like that was the game. And like originally it was supposed to be college game day, but we all know like what happened in the opener. But like literally like that game was so loud, like. That was one of them ones. Like, I would never get that game.
That's a taste of it. That's college football.
College football.
That's
college football.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah. Because it was a year, I think. Was it my junior year? Oh, yeah, I think it was a year before you came in. But we played NC State for game day. It was a night game, and that game was crazy. It was just because it was a night, and night games are just there's something about a night game.
I'm trying to tell you, night games are crazy. Night games are crazy.
Charleston Southern was the first game you appeared in, right? Mm-hmm. Just what was it like being on the field for college football?
I was like, whoa, like I'm in Death Valley for real, like it feet on land, like let's go. It was a good experience though. Like I like that, and it was actually like a good like first taste of college football. Like no matter who the opponent is, number one or like Furman, like anybody that day, like that would have been like a good first, feeling of, my experience of my first time college football.
First half was a little shaky. Yeah, but hey, locked in second half, so it's all right.
Sure.
It's all right.
For sure.
I always get mixed answers to this question. Like, I don't know if people are just pretending to like be like, yeah, I'm chill, but like, I don't know how they would be. But like, busting around the stadium, run down the hill, doing that for the first time. What was going through your mind? Like, were you acting like you've been here before, or are you like, holy crap, like, what am I doing?
I was nervous because like you don't practice running down the hill.
You don't practice it.
So like you just go. And like I didn't want to be like the very first person. I don't know like if there's ever been someone who fell down the hill before, but I for sure did not want to be the first person to. And like, you fall, it's a domino effect. So like
I know, I've been doing that same thing, right?
Like, that's what I was nervous about. I don't know what like answers like people are telling you, but my first time I'm just like, whoa, like, and then I don't know how steep it is. Like I was like, it was so many things running through my head, but that was the biggest thing. I mean,
if some student at Clemson can just do it running down the hill, I'm sure an athlete who's like locked in can do it. But and I always see it. I'm like, I remember there was this one kid, Joe. He was a wide receiver, transferred to South Florida, but he would always like elevate. He would jump like right before it hits that dip. He would just jump up and go like
I've done that once.
10 feet in the air.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah,
it's a good feeling.
How long did that take you to get the confidence?
I'd say probably the fourth home game.
It's not bad.
Ronan Hannafin does this, I think, all the time. He like jumps down like a Spider-Man position. It's actually cool to see like when people like take the picture. And like they flick him up, like it's actually cool to see. But in the moment, I'm just like, whoa, he's dangerous for that. But it's
like it's like Kyler Gordon. He's a second, him from the Bears. He does that all the time. Like gets a pick. He's a big Spider-Man. Right. I don't know. But yeah, that's cool. That is a cool thing.
Right.
So Marcus, is there anything you want to say? Anything you want people to know you about? Like, what do you want there's one message you could give to somebody. Like, what would that be about yourself?
I just want people to know that like. I am a very open person to anything. Like we can talk about anything. We pretty much like do anything. Like, you want to go hoop? Like, let's go do that. Like, things like that. I'm just an open person, and like I just want people to know that.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing about me.
Yeah.
I want people to know.
Something I always see, like on Instagram that I was seeing, you always had forever humble. What does that mean to you?
Honestly, so I got it tattooed eventually in Mandarin. It says forever humble in Mandarin, but I got it tattooed because where I'm from, like the percentage of people to make out of high school, you know, is low. So like, I just know like with the blessings and talents that, you know, God blessed me with, like I just have to be humble with it, you know, always make sure that like I'm grateful for everything, because like all this is like, you know, like it was super surreal, you know, when like I was my first weekend in college. So forever humble, like I started that. So I was listening to the artist Blast, who's from LA, and like in the song, like he talks about like, you know, like what it means for him to be humble and like, you know, just continue on like with his life. And I was listening to that around like my sophomore year. I was like, okay, like this is a good little saying, like forever humble, like forever humble. So it just stuck with me, and like it connects over to my life because, you know, being where I'm from, like I was saying earlier, like it's hard, you know, point blank period, like it's hard. So, you know, being forever humble, like it just always reminds me like where I'm from, like let's get this, like no excuses, like let's get this.
Yeah. What was that realization like for you?
I think it was really awakening, like as to the things that, like the potential that I have, like of doing things. Like sky is just through the roof, you know, for me. So, you know, and I have all of the sources that I need, you know, anything that I need. So it was amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have the ability now to I mean, you're doing great, and you have the ability to be better and better. So I'm sure that like every once in a while, I'm sure that probably something's in your mind, just like how grateful you have to be for everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just like everybody is. You never know what's gonna happen, but I mean that is awesome, man.
Oh yeah.
But Marcus, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for doing this interview.
Matson, thank you.